Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday, whether it's the afternoon, the morning, the evening, wherever you guys are tuning in for this live stream. And hey, as you guys come in, couple of things. Number one, hit that thumbs up on the stream. Consider sharing this out and drop a comment with whatever you feel comfortable sharing. Where are you guys from? Let's hear where everyone's tuning in for on this 1 p.m. Eastern live stream on a Tuesday. My name is Dan. I am the co-host of this live stream on the Dr. Nick's Amazing Man Stuff YouTube channel, and this stream is titled The Doctor's Orders. Now, we do have the doctor that will be giving the orders right next to me. It's kind of fun. We were just talking about like electrolytes and sodium and all this like kind of doctor-like stuff. So perfect behind the scenes segue. Dr. Nick, Tuesday. How are you doing, sir?
Man, episode 51. Here we are, one away from a year of weekly streams. So
pretty cool.
That's exciting. Yeah, and doing good. I was like living up to my name of Dr. Nick when we were talking here. We talked migraine medications. We talked about proteins that attach to nerves and cause weird reactions with different types of migraines, and electrolytes versus sodium and block-chain amino acids. So
yeah, absolutely.
I was talking as a doctor of time and space. I was way over my skis, but as an obsessive researcher, hey, you cover all things sometimes.
Yeah, and just real quick, so you guys get a little peek behind the scenes. My family has really drastically cut down on going out to eat, save money, try to eat a little bit better, and it's really difficult to go out to eat with 3 kids. And there have been some interesting side effects of not going out to eat as much, and one of them that we just are kind of realizing is our sodium intake was greatly decreased, especially our kids. When they're at home, they just eat pretty much pure clean, like there's nothing processed, there's nothing like that. And so the sodium was decreasing, and it was causing things like headaches. And normally a normal American diet, most people don't have to think about sodium because you're getting way too much, and it's just part of the life. But now that we're not eating out and we're just kind of eating our stuff at home, it's like, oh, we have to find ways to, in a good way, get those sodium levels up while not getting the bad side of sodium, all this stuff. So pretty interesting to think about there. And yeah, and this is kind of stuff Nick and I talk about all the time, even just randomly, things like this, as the doctor, of course.
That's it. Yeah, no, it's funny. It's like we have our little mental health and physical health check-ins, whenever something goes bump, we are always, okay, well, what do you do about this? What do you do about this?
Yeah, and we don't even think about it. We just, I hope you guys have friends or companions out there where you can just have those discussions. Like, how you doing? Well, I got this going. Okay, well, this is what I do. This is what I think. And just kind of bounce back and through, whether it's coming back from Costa Rica and being like, hey, man, it's weird assimilating back to this life. Like, yeah, hey, I understand. Or, hey, I got headaches. What do you know? Oh, well, it's about the protein and this and that. Let me send you a link to these little tablets. That's what it's all about, you guys. I hope you get people in your life like that.
You need them, man. It's therapeutic. Like,
yep.
Heck, even, and, who knows, right? It's like, it's interesting that we ended up working so much together, because I feel like even if we didn't, we'd end up doing these calls the exact same way. So
agreed. It's like it was put in front of us because we had to.
Yeah, there was no option. We both needed a friend.
Right. Straight up. And the cool thing is, this is week 51, you guys, and next week will be 1 year of streaming every Tuesday without missing. That's including honeymoons, camping, family trips, business meetings, everything, all working around this stream. And I will say there are going to be some pretty cool giveaways to say thank you and give back to you guys for supporting this stream and this channel and this company next week. So make sure you stay tuned for those. But Nick, outside of that, 52 weeks, when we started this last year, when I kind of pitched this idea, which I pitched like at the beginning of summer, and we kind of built up into it. And I'm like, man, I got this idea for the doctor's orders. You're going to just talk about, because I got to know Nick, right? I understood how Nick can communicate and how he can be transparent. And I'm like, I just want to give you a platform. I just want you to speak about these things, talk about the mindset, the process that goes into the company, that goes into the person, and so much more. Did you immediately think like, okay, yeah, hey, we're going to do this 1 year without ever missing? This is going to be something right there, kind of looking back at it now that we are going to hit a year. Thoughts, reflections on this series? I'm curious.
Well, yeah. So it's one of those weird things where no, I actually didn't think it would do this. It's like whenever you dive into something like this, you hope that it'll
Right.
do whatever, what we've done, right?
For sure.
You hope that like, whenever it's kind of funny, whenever something like this gets in front of me, I think about like what 1 year from now from me is going to think about it. And I literally did. And I sat there when you pitched it to me and I was like, so a year from now, I'm like, that'd be pretty cool. Like looking back, we'd have a really huge library of just cool conversations and giving a place for people to ask questions. I'm like, yeah, that sounds really cool. But those are all like very optimistic thoughts, like how I usually enter most things, sometimes unrealistically, sometimes realistically.
Need that.
But it's like, no, this is kind of how I hoped it would go and what I hoped would have happened. But actually, I was cautious, putting my head to believe that that's the way it was going to end up. But I'm so glad it did. I mean, it literally did exactly what you and I hoped it would do, which was just bring together a community of people that all kind of just like spending some time together every week and talking about stuff that's relevant to us,
It's so cool. And I mean, literal scents and collaborations have been created, products and product variants and changes to the company, to the website, to planning for the future. Literally, a path of this company has been altered because of you guys getting involved and giving Nick and Jill feedback.
Now on that side of it, right? So like you look at like the longevity of it, the consistency of it, those are all things like operationally in my head that I kind of had as targets. But I guess what I didn't expect is the impact that it would have on the business as a whole. I guess that's the part that surprised me, right? I did not expect this level of involvement and didn't expect this level of engagement. And I definitely didn't expect this level of collaboration from people. Like I definitely have readjusted my bar of what supporting, what a supportive community is, right? Because I never imagined it would have the impact that it's had on us and just mentally on top of the business side of things. I mean, it's been profound kind of in both ways.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not trying to speak on behalf of you or Jill, but you guys have made like legitimate like friendships and relationships that have been from the random streams, whether it's metal music, whether it's coffee, like these interests that you find people in common, and it's grown on that side, which obviously is fantastic to build the relationships. Then they give feedback about the company and stuff. It's just there have been so many legs and so many angles of this, and like you said, we would probably be here anyway because we like talking. There's value in content, but how the people have come in and what they've shared and what they've given and what they've added to this, unbelievable.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. It's huge. And the friendships that we've made out of it, you're dead on right. I mean, we have like, people that we now regularly meet up with and go out to dinner and grab beers with. We have people that we're just, always checking in with each other. You look at and people were sending stuff out to, people send us stuff, and we were like sending stuff back and forth to each other in the mail, exchanging cool stuff or like coffee or beard stuff or whatever, music, whatever the heck it might be. But no, I mean, we've made some relationships that will definitely outlast, who knows? It will probably outlast what we're doing here, right?
Right.
We feel like we made some good lifelong connections here, man.
For sure. And I'm going to hit Ruben in a second here with this one, but I just like this interaction. First off, do you know the Spider-Man meme where it's Spider-Man looking at Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that one where it's kind of like, hey, what's going on? So we get an introduction from Chillin' and Grillin' Adventures with Dan B. He says, howdy. And then Dan B says, do I know you? And I swear that's the like Spider-Man looking at each other, right? You got Dan B, do I know you? Do I know you? And then it's like, what do you mean? He said, well, your name has Dan B in it. He said, well, my name is Dan B too. So we got Dan B Spider-Mans like introducing and realizing to each other.
We got the Dan B Spider-Verse happening right in front of us.
Yep, so true. And Jill's spot on here and says, I do love all these people in here. I love being able to keep in touch with y'all every week, in and out of this stream. Yeah. And it is. It's like a life update too.
Cool. It is. I mean, it's like it's crazy. And what's really neat is like, I once in a while will get someone, through someone finds us not through this community, right? And they kind of and they're, you can tell the difference in the tone and the way people interact with us, when, we can tell that there's someone that's come in through this community or yours. our collective community here, and versus someone that just finds us out in the wild, because the tone is just totally different. It's like people that you communicate with us from this community. It's like talking to friends. It's like, hey man, looks like USPS is, dropping the ball. You mind checking it out for me? And we're like, oh yeah, sure. Hey, no problem. Yeah, we'll just send you something out. We'll let them figure their stuff out. And there you go. But then you get people that don't come from here and they're like, I ordered 2 weeks ago and have had 0 updates, and USPS says it was delivered and it's not in my mailbox. And it's like, well, check with your mail carrier, this and that. And then it's like, well, that's not my problem. Who are you people? And I'm like, oh okay. I forget. You don't know us. I'll just pretend like it's our fault and we'll send you something new.
In that line of, you don't know us, that's exactly it. People know you here. People understand this. And like Mark says here, his goal is to go to a metal show with you one day.
Dude, let's do it. Like, I'm so down. Come up for cool. New England Hardcore Metal Festival is the weekend after we go to Blue Ridge. So we got like a couple of packed concert dates coming up here.
There you go. I love that. Got now, good ones. And I'm still going to come back to Ruben's question / announcement here in a second. But one thing that I love that has really been fostered with this stream and people getting to know you and getting to know this company is from day one, you had said that you want a lifestyle brand. Now, in the breadth of long form transparency that you take pride in with this stream here, what is a lifestyle brand to you, and how have these 51 weeks kind of contributed to that aspect of the company? And if you guys can understand too what he's about to say here, this lifestyle brand is just as important, if not more important, than the sales, than the profit, than the revenue and all that right now. Now, of course, it's a business. They got to provide for their family. They got to keep the lights on, got to do all that. But you have been like laser focused on doing this as a lifestyle brand, which comes at the cost of so many other companies. And I'm not talking beard industry, but the cost of how so many other companies conduct business. You've refused to step your toes into those waters because you wanted to stay committed to that lifestyle brand. So what does that mean to you? And how has this and the community and the people in the chat kind of like aided into that mission of yours?
That's a big question, and one that I wish I could have thought of for a day. No, it's okay.
Sorry.
No, it's good. Off the top of the head, is actually really good with stuff like this, which I know is why you save it. And so, I mean, at the core, I think the biggest thing for me about like a normal product company versus a lifestyle brand is a normal product company has a customer base, right? And they can come and go. And those people are buying things from a faceless company, right? They're buying the product, right? They're buying what's in a bottle. They're buying what's in a box. They're buying whatever might be on a shirt, a logo, things like that, right? But there's no investment into who that company is. And in my mind, products that you consume like that are very, very replaceable, right? Just another product comes along that's a better price or something else, and there you go. And those people don't care about repeat customers, right? They have repeat customer buy rates of 10 to 20%, and they're fine with that. All right. And that's not what we wanted to build. We feel like there's enough of that out there. So in my mind, the difference from a product company to a lifestyle brand is that you don't have necessarily a customer base. You have a fan base and you have a community, right? And those people are invested not only in the product because they believe in it, they feel as though they can contribute to the product, which people here do, right? They feel invested in the company, and they're not just buying a product in a bottle, right? They're buying something, from someone they believe in, and from a company that they see eye to eye with, right? That shares the same values they do, and they're supporting more than just themselves, right? They know that they're actually they're the foundation of what they're actually investing themselves in and what they're spending their money on, right? And I feel like there's customers from a product company can be very fickle, right? There's you're either giving me what I want or you're not, and you're gone. And I feel like with a lifestyle brand, you get the chance to be able to improve and develop who you are based on customer feedback that understands your shortcomings and mistakes and helps you get over them and improve them. So it kind of becomes like this interesting thing where the company and your customers all sort of become one thing that is product development, that is customer service, that is the community building. You're no longer that service provider and consumer kind of a role with a lifestyle brand. You are part of that brand, right? The brand is the community. The brand is the customers and the fans. And to me, that's the difference. And it takes a lot more investment from a company standpoint. And like you said, it takes walking away from certain opportunities that would cloud that vision, right?
Yep.
And so I think it helps guide us, but at the same time, I feel like it delivers a much better experience for the person on the other side of the postal service, right? And that is they're truly getting something that was small batch and craft and made by hand and made with the intention of getting good feedback and impressing their customers and going above and beyond their expectations. You know, if you're just slinging products through the mail and if they get there, they get there. If they don't, they don't. If they like them, oh well. And if they don't, well, keep it because we don't offer refunds, right? That's kind of where I feel that a lot of companies out there are. And that's not what we wanted to build. And I feel like we've stuck to that. And this right here, this community is proof of that.
Yeah, very beautifully said. And I did not pitch that question to Nick before. We didn't plan it. We've never actually discussed that
No, we did not.
topic. And I love that. He said, a lot of people have products that are just replaceable. And I've never thought about it like that. And when I think about so many things in my life, there's a lot that are replaceable, where if I do find a better deal, I'm going to go elsewhere. If there is a new option, I'm going to try something elsewhere. But I don't have any attachment to them. I don't give any feedback to that company. I don't get any interaction with that company. And so when you talk about the community, like not just getting to know you and liking you and being a fan of it, but actually contributing, actually giving feedback and having that invested interest, that makes so much sense. And it's just cyclical. It benefits them because the products are better because they were able to contribute. It benefits the company because you get to actually hear from the people that are the consumers. And it just all kind of builds on itself to be this lifestyle brand. And a stream like this can't get any better to get that real-time feedback plus follow-ups. Think about how many streams people have emailed you afterwards with ideas and contacted you to follow up and give more. It all just kind of goes together perfectly with what you're trying to accomplish and what you have accomplished. I mean, you didn't have a rebrand, you didn't have a anything, but it was kind of like a new commitment to all in on the company for about exactly 1 year now. And it's building and going and growing. And so many people have so many amazing things to say about what you and Jill are doing.
You know, and that's the other thing is that I don't know, you know, if someone out there is doing something good, they have a good product. I don't know why they're not doing this, right? And cultivating, you know, a community of people that, you know, can encourage you and help you grow. And I feel like it's the wind in our sails, not to be cheesy. A lot of days hearing the customer feedback, just hearing stuff that comes from you guys, you know, good, bad, or indifferent, to be honest, because it always leads to a good discussion. But I think, you know, if you're not doing that, it's just like, why are you even doing it? Right. Because, you know, I like we're doing this. I like what we do because of the feedback I get from our customers. And, you know, it's more rewarding than I've said this before. It's more rewarding than any other kind of work that I do. And I do a lot of stuff.
Right.
And this one is definitely my favorite, right? It feels good. And I love the feedback. I live on it.
That's amazing. Amazing. And you guys have given a lot of good feedback. I'm going to highlight some of those in a second. And I do want to say Nicholas has posed a really good question that I've saved. You guys, we didn't even really set this up, but we know the flow is going to kind of go in that direction anyway. But today is an open Q&A. Please drop your questions in the chat about Dr. Nix, about Nick, about Jill, about anything that you want to get to know about these companies, you guys. And Nicholas, you have a beautiful question we'll kick off in a second here. But first, to Ruben's question / maybe a possible announcement here. So next week is 1 year, 52 weeks, big giveaway stream, celebration to give back. Now, I don't know if it was leading this way or setting it up this way. Nick, do you have an announcement about this ending? Are we going real big next week because this is the final week of this live stream?
No, we're going real big next week because we want to appreciate you guys and thank you for the year that we've had. And there is no chance in hell that we would say thank you like that and then abandon you in the year going forward. Not a chance, Ruben. We initially set this off with the idea that we would do it for a year, you know, and it was kind of like, okay, let's do this for a year and see how it goes. And it's a big commitment for a test, but the way that it's gone, I would miss this so bad if we didn't do it every week. There's no way we're getting rid of it. So rest assured, next week is a big blowout, literally to say thank you for the past year and looking forward to the years to come.
Yeah, even if for some reason we'd have to do some version. Nick and I talk every single day through text, through messages, through phone calls and stuff. But these like Tuesday streams also gives me a chance to hang out with my guy, to like talk to Jill, and we talk beforehand, we talk afterhand. And I wish you guys could see our talks before the stream for 15, 20 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes. It has absolutely nothing to do with the stream. It's
really
usually about,
doesn't ever.
yeah, it's about dishwashers and headaches and vacations and family and like weird things that happened and strange emails that we got. Like literally we have to be like, oh shoot, 1 minute, guys. And then
there's been times where we like get on our like backstage pre-call for this, and all of a sudden, like 2 minutes to go, I'm like, oh shit, what are we talking about today, by the way? Which one is this? Oh, okay, right. Yeah, okay, good. Got it. And then we jump on.
So it's when this asking, is this over? No, I need this. I enjoy this. It's amazing to have something non-negotiable on the schedule, right? Me and Nick we can talk anytime, but it's nice to have this set and be like, oh, hey, did you see Dr. Nick has a new blog about are women attracted to beards? And oh, shoot, there's an actual study that's in it. Oh, that's super cool. And then, but hey, it's just nice to have this set. So to answer this, Ruben, absolutely not. We know that this year was a year of learning and adjusting and growing and figuring it out. Get this, though. Once this next week is over, that's dang near the official start of beard season. And this show is just going to build and build and build into the fall, into No Shave November, into the winter. I think this last year has been unbelievable and exceeded all of our expectations. But I think it's about to skyrocket and go through the moon. And I'm not just talking about viewers. I'm not just talking about subscribers. I'm talking about new perspectives, new feedback, new interactions. So not going anywhere, if anything, just bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. I mean, I'm dead on with you. I love it.
Awesome.
Upwards and onwards.
Yep. And you guys keep giving all these great feedbacks that you have here. I'll touch on a couple of these. Ken says, love Dr. Nick's products and owners, some of the coolest people around.
Oh, thanks, man.
We have Notable Beard Co. says, Nick's IPA hits different. Great stuff right there.
Notable Beard. Thanks, man. You make some awesome stuff too, bro. And we're huge supporters.
There you go. One thing that I just realized I'll have to get with Jill. I went to go, I had a massive craving for some IPA, and I'm like, all right, let's do this. I'm out.
No.
Cold.
Baby, fix Dan. He's broken.
I don't think you probably understand this. Do you know the feeling when you get a craving in your mind and then you're like, I have it, it's there, and you go, you're like so excited. So like, this is the perfect scent for my day, the perfect feel for my day. And then you go, and I don't remember this, but I don't even have the bottle. Like it's that gone. And I'm like, oh my God.
What do I do with my hands?
I don't know when it happened or how it happened, but I'm stocked on Yule Tree. I'm stocked on 7. I just was out of IPA. I don't know what happened. So
Jill's on it.
It does.
I would just go back to bed.
Yeah, exactly. It was
advice.
That,
go back to bed and wake up with go back to bed and wake back up with different expectations.
Yep. And PB says it's gone. It's gone. Nicolas Cage gone in 60 seconds. Mine was 30 seconds. So yeah. JT Steve says, I know I'm always yammering about the face wash. I learned it has great soothing qualities on sunburn with aloe. Even I used it on my legs, was instant relief. Wow.
Dude, that's huge. And the butter. Don't sleep on the butter for sunburns. That really helped me actually in a couple. I forgot to do my sunscreen misting on my beard trick before I went out to the beach one day, and I did get a little burned under my beard, and I just buttered the hell out of it that night, put it in a bun, woke up, I was fine.
That's awesome.
Oh, but dude, that's awesome to hear that, man.
And Leo says, absolutely right about the community and contact. Given how little product I use and how much longer than 600 drops in oil last, I can't claim to be anyone's best customer. I recommend by contacts.
Well, no, and that's huge, man. Yep. Leo, you don't need to use, it's not, we don't gauge our customer value based on volume of their purchases.
Yep.
And that's another thing about a lifestyle brand I think that you appreciate, right? Is that, we value you guys for who you are, not the money that you spend. We value the support that you give and the input and the feedback and the support. I mean, that's far more valuable. So don't think it's a per milliliter value assignment we have on our customers in our community. You're an insanely valuable member of the community.
Agreed. And the face wash does do wonders and smells great on top of it. Amazing products and an amazing company. Love that. Love that.
And
Okay,
Ruben,
here's a good
I saw
question
your other
for
comment about, we need to build my, that's how we, got my body double.
you.
And
I
I'm like,
saw that. Yeah.
man, give me one. Give me.
Would you say that your face wash and body wash would be safe for children?
Yeah, if my son Jack is watching downstairs, I'm not sure if he's in the chat or not, but he uses it every day. He's 10, and his whole shower is only Dr. Nick's products. He moved away from all of his Old Spice and his Axes and
Good.
all of his stuff that made it smell like a high school locker room upstairs whenever he'd shower.
Yeah.
But he is all Dr. Nick's all day now.
And he's a fan too. I love seeing him when he's in the chat and like he really is into this stuff. It's
Oh,
not
he
just
is.
his dad's job. Like he is into it. And I've had the chance of meeting him. And so it's been really cool.
Seeing him out in the wild with people, I mean, he's my number one hype man and sales rep. Like, I won't toot my own horn, but if I have Jack with me, I don't need to, because it's like, this is my dad. He runs Dr. Nick's. He'll even say, I like your beard. Have you heard of Dr. Nick's before? Like, just walking up to people in restaurants, and if we go out to a store. So I mean, he's he follows the ABS rule, man. Always be selling.
So true. And G Squared said, I'm attached to the body wash and butter more than probably any other body product from a company. I love so many oils from so many companies, but Dr. Nick's body wash and butter, I can't replace it.
Oh, that's awesome to hear, man. And it's, once that butter gets into your veins, there's just nothing there's nothing else that'll do it, from what I've experienced and what people tell me. It's like, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but once this one just itches that, scratches that itch just right, nothing else scratches it quite the same.
Yep. And Buffy says, I finally decided to come over and catch you guys here, and it's great to see all the positivity and love. Truly the best community to be a part of.
Oh, that's awesome. Right on. Yep. Buffy the Beardo, welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the stream. Every Tuesday, you guys, 1 p.m. Eastern here. And I do have a bunch of your guys' questions start, so those are coming. And Jim's right. He said, Leo, between beard and life advice, this community would be missing a huge part if it wasn't for Leo.
Damn right it would be, man. I feel like you're like a piece of wisdom and grounding that we all need sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so true. All right. Bigger question here, then we got a bunch of little ones. And so for this one, I just want you to share your story, kind of going back on this. And Nicholas says, Dr. Nick, I'm sure you've already talked about this. I don't know actually if we have specifically, Nicholas. So this is a great question. Today's the perfect day. We're talking about community. Today's Q&A. So he is wondering how you found this community, kind of break down your journey and story there, because a lot of people don't know Dr. Nick's has been around since 2015. Obviously not at the same degree of the community involvement at all. But what was kind of your journey there, and then how did you find the community?
It's interesting. I actually talked about this on someone else's stream. But we haven't talked about it really on this one. Yeah. And it's kind of an interesting story, I think, because I think a lot of people find this community and then decide they want to participate in it from a products perspective. And I think a lot of companies are actually born out of this community and out of these communities. And I'll just refer to it as the larger YouTube beard community, right?
Yep.
I guess what's kind of interesting about my story on this, talk about doing things in a vacuum, and potentially this means doing things for the right reasons. I don't know, not to say that other people's reasons are wrong, I guess. But I actually had no idea that the YouTube beard community even existed until 2022, I guess, late 2021, maybe. We have a friend, Alex, who actually referred you to Jill and said to Jill, hey, you got to check this guy out. He talks about beard products. He's great. I watch him all the time. And literally, that was my first toe in the water to even know that someone was doing live streams with people interacting, talking about beards in general at all.
Wow.
I actually went through my whole growing a beard phase from 2012 until I started Dr. Nick's in 2015, then running Dr. Nick's from 2015 to 2021, 22. I did all of that completely blind to the fact that there was a community of people on YouTube that shared my same interest in beards and beard products. I had no idea. And go figure, right? I just had my head in the sand, doing what I normally do on YouTube and stuff, which is technical research or research on other stuff or mechanical stuff or learning things. And I just never stumbled across it. And then so when we got referred to you, we watched a bunch of your content. We started watching live streams. We started seeing this community. Then we reached out to you and we asked if you'd want to do a review of the products, and you did. And then we started seeing the feedback from people from your community about our products based on your review. And we're like, oh man, how do we participate in this? So it's so weird, right? Most people, I think, start in the participating part of a community and then decide that they want to start creating beard products to offer to that community. We literally did it totally backwards. We started making products and doing the thing that we thought we were that we wanted to do. And then we found the community and said, oh man, this is really cool. We want to be a part of this too. And so literally we found this community through Dan, through a referral from a friend, and
so cool.
Ran a beard company for years before we even knew it existed. And, we're super just honored that you guys have accepted us into the fold and you just kind of welcomed us into this larger community of people that, clearly we see eye to eye with on so many levels, beyond just beard stuff,
right.
But the support then of, getting our own channel going with this community, and then seeing people that have had long-standing relationships in other places just literally welcome us and support us and participate and join. So, I mean, yeah, that's how I found it, man. It was, completely by word of mouth, and then, through Dan.
Man, the word of mouth aspect is so cool that literally somebody recommended this, and think about how many people are doing that now with Dr. Nix and going up to people and recommending them. I saw Ken in the chat said he's passed bottles on to family members and they're going to buy more. And we hear that so many times from people. Hey, I told you guys, hey, I told my buddy, my uncle. It seems like it's actually real. When you put that recommendation personally, it just hits. It just strikes differently.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. I mean, in a huge way. I mean, that's especially coming from the person it came from. He's it's funny. He's one of those people where he's one of those people that's passionate both ways, right? He either knows what you do and will be very vocal about how he either does or does not like it. He's not one of those people that'll say nice things about something he halfway believes in. It's if you get a compliment out of Alex, it means you're doing something right. And, and that's just the way it is. So coming from him, it was a great recommendation.
That's beautiful. So Nicholas, great question, man. Thank you. All right. So we got some more that I don't think are as big of ones, but some really good questions. And guys, keep these coming in the chat here. First one comes from Mark. He says, are there any plans for scented butters in the future, or do you think you'll just be sticking to unscented?
No, there are plans for scented butters. We have a couple other new scent releases coming out. And then we are working with a new label company that's going to start producing labels for us here really soon. We're getting to the end of our last stock. So our rolls are running low, and we have some new design coming and a new label material and a little bit different look. And then once we get through all that, those new labels will also include the different scent profile labels for butters. And we'll start rolling those out, because some people have really said number 9 would be huge at night. People really want the peppermint rosemary inside of a butter so they can have that scent at nighttime too.
Oh, am I still with you here?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure. My internet, I was like, is my cord coming undone? All right, but that's awesome, and I love hearing that timeline, right? It's not just something that's just on the back burner, just on a whim. It's like, hey, we have these labels, this design, and then boom, then it's going to roll out.
Yep.
And people are excited.
Oh,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. So, okay, cool. Now, next one, number 7. So Ken says that is the GOAT. All right. How long did the company number 7 take to develop? How long did the company GOAT number 7 take to develop? So think back on that one. When did number 7 come to life? And was it a long process? Was it a quick one? What do you got on that one? Because that was one before, that was pre-community, right? Reviewing, get involved. That's been around for a while.
That was our first signature series scent. So that's actually what kicked off the signature series was that concept. So that happened sometime between when we started with IPA and stout, and it largely started as a version of IPA that didn't have the hops in it, and then completely transformed into some other things that were added in to kind of round it out and became its own monster. But I would say, I mean, if you look at the fact that IPA took about a year to come up with properly, and then it took another 6 months of messing around to get things right to have number 7 stand on its own. I mean, you're probably looking at a year and a half,
Wow.
2 years total, probably testing, development, product kicking around time. And that's back when we didn't really have any pressure to come out with anything new, and it was literally just going to be something that we added. So I kicked that around quite a bit. I mean, that took a while.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It was a
And
tough one because there's lots of layers to it. It seems on the surface, it seems like this kind of very simple citrus scent, but it's really not. I mean, there's a lot going on in there.
yeah, and Ken has tried a lot, and he says that's for sure his top 10. He said maybe even top 5 all time for him.
No, that's awesome, dude. I mean, yeah, I love hearing that.
Awesome. And then we got Lana popping over from the community too, I think for the first time coming over here, and
What's
says,
up,
I've liked
Lana?
and subbed.
Welcome.
So welcome. I appreciate seeing some familiar faces over here. Very, very cool. All right. Next one, deodorant. It's been brought up many times. Where's the timeline, thought process on that natural deodorant?
I'm still working on it. Jill is still testing, still playing, and it's a weekly topic here in the shop. So
Yep.
it's the initiative is not going anywhere. But we're still working on which ingredients are going to do what we want without doing things we don't want. Right? We actually found one that we really, really like, and Jill's been using it, and we're trying to kind of figure out how to make a crossover between a couple ingredients that we like that aren't in things that we can find. And she's, been trying one. Jack's been using it, an all natural deodorant now, because even at 10, he's starting to need it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Maddox too.
Yeah. And so, but we just discovered that this one bleaches certain types of black dyes in her shirts, and it literally
Oh.
turns them orange.
Oh,
And so we're like, oh, okay, well, that's probably not going to be the route we go then. And it's only
right.
certain shirts that it does it to. It's not like all of them. So certain types of dyes react with it and has a strange reaction. And it's a huge brand. And so I won't say which brand it is because we found a problem with it. And but it's but it's just one of those things. We want to get it right, and not going to rush it. So hopefully we figure it out soon.
Yeah.
I
And
want it.
that testing is so important too. If there's any companies watching now or in the future, don't rush things. Take your time.
Yeah.
With working with Dr. Nix, one thing that I've been able to learn and adjust and grow on is I am a person where I want to make a decision. I want to go, go, go right now. Go, go, go. Nick is the opposite end of the spectrum. He's someone who makes a decision. He wants to analyze it 37,000 ways, put it through 4 different vector programs and analysis and take that time. And we're just on opposite ends, but I think there's a beauty in the middle. And
There is. There,
I
yeah.
see companies mess up by rushing things. For example, they could develop a natural deodorant and they're like, this is great, awesome ingredients. It worked on me. Boom. But they didn't test it with a black shirt. They didn't test it in the humid time. They didn't test it in the dry season. And so there definitely is a balance, because if you go too far of that paralysis by overanalysis, then you never get anything done. But if you go too quickly, you don't want to ruin people's clothes. You don't want to have things have a mistake. So companies don't over rush. Even if you have that like urgency that I do to go, 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 you got to do that extra testing. And when you said that about the deodorant, I'm like, I could 100% see that happening. So doing it the right way, the slow way, the
Yeah.
proper way is worth it. It really is.
It is, because I feel like in what you spoke about in the Venn diagram there is a happy,
Yeah.
meeting of the middles there somewhere. I think what that speaks to is, if you do something rushed and you don't get it right, then you got to spend a lot of time not only fixing that problem, but then also figuring out how to make it right and then move forward in a way that works. Whereas I think if you spend that time up front, then you get the same result, but without the back and forth and the perception issue of there being problems. But then again, like you say, if you spend too long on that, then you never actually get anything to market, or you miss opportunities.
Yep.
So it is a delicate balance. And I think we've both kind of been drawn towards the middle section of those two two mindsets, which has been good for both of us.
So good. And it really, I think, has opened both of our eyes to different approaches and different methods, and then seeing the value of both, and then, yeah, kind of meeting in the middle. And so,
Yeah.
no doubt about it. And True North, similar path. That they may have started in the same year as you, or even right around. And you guys both started before I was in the community, before I had a channel. So you had started, you both kind of took breaks in the middle and stepped away a little bit. And then when you came back, there's like this whole new world of the community that kind of I had a part in, and developing. And so then, absolutely, and same. I've been able to meet Chris, the owner, and his wife Tara of True North, and same thing. Great friends. It's been awesome working together, and just super cool to see all the different paths. And like you said, a majority of the companies we see now are birthed from the community. They like it. They get passionate about it. They want to do something that they have a passion for, which I encourage everybody to do.
Hell
And
yeah.
so it's awesome to see the different routes to get there.
And I think one of the things that speaks volumes here too is, you look at all the company names that are in these live chats, right? We're all supportive of each other and like what each other are doing, and we all have different angles on the market too. And I love the idea that we can all collaborate without feeling like we're stepping on each other's toes or anything else. I mean, notable, True North. I mean, you guys have been here damn near from the beginning with us and helping us grow and supporting us, and we like to support each other. I mean, yeah, and we can't wait to meet you and hang out too, man. I mean, that's the beauty of this, right? It just shows that it's that there's a different side to the market than what a lot of people see to this, right? It's not all this cutthroat competition stuff. Like we can absolutely all exist and get along. And I love the idea someday of doing a stream where we have multiple other owners on with us and we talk about kind of why we have the path in the market that we do, and why we focus on what we focus on and what's important to us. And I just think it'd be cool for everyone to hear different people's perspectives. So,
and Nick has said this many times to me, you guys, this is not something he's just dropping in the moment. He really does want to do that, and we'll make sure to make it happen.
I would love that. It'd be super cool. It'd be cool to hear the perspective and the different ways that we all kind of do something similar, but it's valuable to have all of us around because we serve different people for different needs,
Yep, absolutely. And on this too, I work with so many companies, and it's beautiful to see these companies collaborate and not have any of the concerns or issues, because that would make my life really difficult. And for example, the recommendations, right? You can recommend everyone, you can try everything, but their things are really particular. If a company said, "Hey, I want a really deep, complex, strong, really, really strong cologne scent," I'm going to say, "Oh, hey, True North has a bunch that are in that line." Or somebody says, "Hey man, I want something that's much more natural, that's much lighter, that's much more essential oil," I say, "Hey, go to Dr. Nick's." And I know that they have those same feelings for each other as well. If somebody approaches Nick about something that doesn't fit their company well, I've literally experienced him recommending other companies, other competitors, and says, "Hey, we're not going to be the one for you on this case. Come check back with us on other stuff. But in this case, go check out True North. Go check out this other company." And literally doesn't post about it, doesn't say anything about it, but is just doing the right thing and just supporting and being genuine.
Yeah, I mean, there was someone who asked me literally for exactly what Notable was working on with his big stick. And, I referred someone to him. I've referred people to True North. I've referred people to Fable. I've referred people to Beard Octane. I've sent people to lots of different places when they needed something that we didn't have. And they reached out to me for an honest answer. So if someone hears from someone in here that, "Oh yeah, I'd reach out to Nick from Dr. Nick's. He's really good at giving advice." And then someone reached out and I just was self-promoting and not giving them an honest answer, I wouldn't feel good about it. So if they want something I don't have, I definitely know people out there who do.
Yep. And I love this question on topic. Nicholas, you're killing it today. Speaking of all these companies and the companies working together and supporting each other, and then I'm kind of in the middle of all of this. How do you balance your thoughts with all these beard companies? Nicholas, it's super simple. And for whatever reason, many people who are, whether it's sad or they don't like their job or they don't think that this kind of life can happen, they don't believe it, but it's true. I just share my thoughts. Like, it's as literally as simple as that. I just simply share my thoughts. I have affiliates, and people would say something along the lines of, specifically, "Hey, why do you push Dr. Nick so much?" I had to kind of push back on someone saying that to me. recently, and I'm like, I don't push anything. I just share my experiences. I just share my thoughts. There's absolutely no pushing. There's no benefit for me to go with one affiliate or the other. And I don't even push based on affiliates. True North is in the chat. They know I've recommended them several times. I don't even have a review video for them, and I've still recommended them. So it's the way I balance it is I take in my experiences and I share my thoughts. It's just literally as simple as that. And that goes for everyone. When I speak to Nick, a company owner, I speak openly and freely about companies. I don't ever like try to hide their light to like protect him. I don't ever be like, oh yeah, man, that beard octane. I'm like, if he asks me, I'm gonna tell him the truth. I'm gonna tell him how amazing these things are and what I love about these companies. And the beautiful thing about being a secure person is that doesn't hurt you. Somebody doing well, somebody doing great things doesn't hurt you. There's another content creator making great beard content. That is not a negative to me. If there's a beard company making great products, doing it in a great way, that's not a negative to Nick. So the balance is just being honest and transparent.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, if you were an airline and another airline of yours that had a bad habit of crashing airplanes, stopped crashing airplanes and started doing real good, that's a good thing for the air travel industry because people aren't going to be scared of crashing, right? You don't want to wish them ill fate that they're going to, keep having mistakes. That's going to hurt the whole market, right?
Yes.
And it's people are, they're gonna buy tickets from one airline or the other. And if they're scared of flying, no one's flying anywhere.
So true.
So
so true.
It helps. Perception's a good thing, and supporting a market and building a market is a good thing. Like you say, without competition, that means you're probably in a market that doesn't really matter, right? Because no one wants to be a part of it. The more competition you have in a market and the more people that are in it, just shows that you're part of an active market and that you'll have, do the right thing and you'll have successful products.
For sure. And I hope everybody wants this baby industry to grow. I actually dove in and did some more hardcore research than I've ever done on the industry just this last week. The largest company in the United States for beard products, we do have a new one in the last 2 years, which is, it's good to see, but the largest company in the US, record-breaking year last year, this year will destroy that record. They did $47.5 million in revenue. $47.5 million in revenue. They're in the United States. It is made in the United States, based in the United States. It's not anything that's private label. It's not anything that's from China or anything like that. And they are now the new #1 company. Do you know what that company is, Nick?
No, who is it?
Let's see in the chat. Let's see who can get this guess first.
I'll guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll guess and say beard brand.
It's not. It was for the previous 8 years in a row, but it is no longer beard brand.
Interesting.
God. $47.5 million on the books for revenue.
Not Beard Club. Not
Fable.
Beard Club.
No, Fable's in the like
Club.
3 to 5 million. So way off from there.
Wouldn't be Johnny Slicks.
Not Johnny Slicks. Not Live Bearded. Nope. Not Copper Johns. Nope.
Live Bearded would have been a suspect for me too. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, they're in the beard brand, Fable, Beard Octane kind of range there. All right, we have the winner. JT Steve is
Honest
correct.
Amish.
Honest Amish with $12 2-ounce oils did $47.5 million in revenue.
Wow. Now, what I'd be really interested to see is the pie chart that shows.
I have it.
Amazon versus
22 million for Amazon.
Really? So about half.
Close to it. Yep. Close to it. And
very interesting.
Yep. And then the rest of it, the vast majority was in stores. It was Walmart, it was CVS, were their main two, for some other ones. And then the rest of the pie chart was with their own sales, their in-house sales.
Wow. That is freaking crazy, isn't it?
Yep. And the beautiful thing is, if you pull up the ingredient list on Honest Amish Oil, it's wonderful. It's truly great ingredient list. It does not have any waters, no silicones, no preservatives, no even cheap oils. It doesn't, not that there's a problem with it. It doesn't even have vitamin E. It's
I'll tell you a funny story.
Yeah.
About honest Amish. When I was first growing a beard and I was buying beard products that were scented and I was having problems with them, And when someone told me I should go to an unscented oil to see if the problems go away, to see if I was allergic to fragrance oils, which I was, is the first unscented oil I bought from Amazon was Honest Amish, and I used it, and that's the first oil I used that didn't give me problems.
There you go.
Actually, the first oil I experienced that I could use besides the oil that we make, that was the first one.
That's awesome.
That's actually what told me that unscented oil would work for me. And then they do have that cedar essential oil one that they have that, like, to me, it's a little hamster cagey. But I did want to try it with the essential oils to see if that worked. And it did. And it worked, and I liked it, and it didn't bother my skin. So that's actually the two oils. It was my first one I used that didn't bug my skin, and then the first one I used that had a scent that also didn't bug my skin.
In this, there's important perspective here too. And they have three main oils. They have their pure, which a lot of people don't realize, that's their unscented. Their Honest Amish Classic actually is scented. A lot of people don't realize that. There's six or seven, but I think it's 6 different natural essential oils in that blend. And it gives it this like natural kind of black licorice type scent to it. And then they have their premium, which smells like pencil shavings. Now that you say hamster cage, I can see that. That's, yeah, definitely. And here's the most important line here. JT Steve says, first one I think I ever used.
Yeah,
many people in the chat will say the same thing. This is why we are talking about this openly. This is why we are talking about this in a positive light. We want your first experience to be with that, not to be with something that, and if we're talking in stores, if we're talking about big Amazon, right? Of course, we want your first experience to be Dr. Nick's, but otherwise, we want it to be something that is natural, that is going to feel like a beard oil. Imagine how many people go to the store. The first thing they try has 3 silicones, and they're like, this is beard oil? This is what everyone's been hyping up. This is what my buddy Nick makes for a living. What the
heck?
Sucks. Nobody in this industry should want that. We should want Honest Amish to be massive. Now, advantages they have, when you're doing $47.5 million of revenue, you are buying at a scale that's we can't even wrap our head around. And the bigger scale you buy at, the lower the cost. And so people would say, how can they sell it for that? I actually know their cost. I'm not going to say publicly. I know their cost of oil. It's mind blowing, but they're the ones that are doing it. They're the ones that took the chance, that got the distribution, that got out there. So pretty dang cool. And just kind of goes with everything we're talking about here, where we want this industry to grow. We want this industry to do well. And the final note on it is, let's think women's cosmetics real quick. Any branch of it. Let's think women's lotion, women's makeup. Are there billion-dollar companies out there? Yes. We could go down a list and do double digits right now, just by off the top of our heads.
Oh, yeah.
The biggest in the beard world. And we're shocked at 47.5 million. We're like, whoa, that's huge. It's not even sniffing at the industry. It's not even sniffing at what the women's industry is doing. And we have just as many males, and there's going to be dang near as many beards. And so this is going somewhere. This industry is growing, and it's just getting started. Supporting the other companies is only going to help everybody. And so that's something that I love talking to Nick about, and working with great companies is because of that ability to be able to expand. And G Squared, no, I do not believe they're publicly traded. I don't think they're to that level yet. So cool little random sidebar in history there about not knocking companies, supporting them, encouraging them. It's pretty cool to see.
Dude, it's awesome. I mean, you look at what they do too. Just they're not just a leech on the beard world either. I mean, look at the amount of events they sponsor and the amount of people they bring together, and what they do just for the style that we all like in general. I mean, that's gonna raise acceptance. That's gonna, the more of that's out there, and the more people that are rocking beards, the less likely employers are to say that you have to shave unless it's for safety reasons and other stuff, right? It becomes more socially acceptable. And the blog that Dan just published on our blog site about, do women find beards attractive, right? The more and more it makes it out there, the more movie stars that are rocking beards, the more people we see on magazine covers as best dressed man of the year, and they have a really well-groomed beard. The stigma starts to go away, and the less you start getting associated with, things we don't want to be associated with, and, things that, are going to, hold you back, right?
Yep.
It's a good thing.
Spot on. Spot on. All right. Couple more questions here. Kevin wants to know, is it just me or is IPA a lighter scent than others? The scent dissipates very quickly. Let me hit my perspective on this first and I'll kick it to Nick. So first off, this company, and Kevin, I don't know if you're comparing apples to apples with like Dr. Nick's scents or if it's to the industry, but first thing to know is Dr. Nick's is all essential oils. And so those are going to be a little bit softer. They do have a staying power. They're going to last quite a while, but they're not in your face. As Nick says, they're on your face. And so it's supposed to be something a little bit lighter in terms of the range of Dr. Nick's. I would say that IPA and number 7 are both on the lighter side of Dr. Nick's scents because the molecules are just smaller. That's just, they actually physically dissipate quicker than the other ones. And we're more prone to nose blindness on scents like citrus, on hops. And so they definitely are on the lighter side. If you wanted something stronger, I would recommend like 21 or 18. I think those are the stronger side of things here. But yeah, just kind of give that, Nick, your take on it here.
Yeah, no, I think the hop soil oxidizes pretty quickly. That's why it smells fantastic and it like pops when you pull it out of the bottle.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like it's off the line performance. It's a sprinter. It's not a marathon runner, right? It's explosive when you warm it up in your hands. You put it on your beard, you get a big blast of it right away. But then it does. I think the hops is the first smell to dissipate, and then the citrus probably rides behind it. And there could be something with the hops oxidizing so quickly that makes the citrus actually fade a little quicker than it would on its own with like a number 7. So there could be something there from a chemistry perspective.
Yeah, and Kevin, exactly, said he was comparing with Dr. Nick. So yeah, I would say it's easily on the lighter side.
It is.
And
I'd agree with you, Ken.
There definitely are some chemistry individual things too, where it's like some scents just don't stick with us more than others. But yeah, good question, man. And
good.
G Squared said, I've recently got into lawn care this year and I've been restoring a vintage 1950s Craftsman manual push reel mower. It's very satisfying. Does anyone here reel mow? I'd love a new one.
No, I don't personally, but I love restoring vintage metal anything. So doing that sounds pretty freaking satisfying. I love making things that are rusty and squeaky be nice and shiny and clean and smooth. But to like agreeing with you there, that does sound very satisfying. But no, not me. I'm actually going the opposite direction. I'm looking at some of those robot mowers, but I'm super picky about it because it's got to be the systematic ones and not the asystematic ones that cut random patterns. I like the CTK, like satellite guided ones that actually do a real grid in your lawn because I need lines in my lawn. I can't have these zigzags all over the place. So I don't know. More to come on that as I get further into my rabbit hole of research that's already been going on 8 months.
And I can fully see you. I can just imagine your lawn not having the lines and like Nick coming home, his brain just stops. He just starts twitching.
Just seized up. Like it does not compute.
Yeah. Oh man, I can see it. All right. This one I have absolutely no concept of an answer on. JT Steve says, beard sanitizer. Do you know if it has any deodorizing qualities?
It does. So hypochlorous acid is the sanitizing ingredient in that. Hocl, HOCL. You can read about it. Hypochlorous acid is definitely something worth checking out. And it actually sanitizes as it dries. And it does oxidize many, many materials as it does that. So if you had like, for example, if my beard smells like exhaust from standing next to a car, if I spray beard sanitizer on it, 10 minutes later, my beard does not smell like exhaust. So there are certain things that if it's like material stuck to your beard, that stuff's got to come off to stop emitting smells. But if it's like a gas or a smoke or something like that that's in your beard or some other small particulate, hypochlorous acid has an effervescent effect as it dries, which is how it breaks down and kills bacteria and viruses and everything else. So with the carcinogens, especially, it can destroy those and eliminate them. We're getting rid of things like kerosene and stuff like that from fires. So it is something that can be a deodorizer in certain situations.
Super cool. Love that. And Tommy says he's been using the growth stimulator exclusively for 10 days and he's already seeing results.
I love hearing that. That's fantastic.
Follow up here with Jose's want to ask about the growth stimulator. Apply every 3 or 4 days a week. Jose, you can use it as much as you would like. If you want best results, I think we would all recommend using it at least once a day. Nick and I kind of agree using it before bed is a good routine and kind of one of your best ways to get it to fully process and absorb in and do its job. So 3 to 4 days, totally fine. It's up to you. But I would think that in this situation, right, there's obviously a line. You can go too much by using too much and clogging your pores. But I do believe more days is better if you want to experience results.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I'd say the more the better. And another quick one here. Ruben answered a question from Lana just about the beard, the balm stick. Perfect, you got it.
Yep.
Yeah, Lana. It's definitely one of a kind. I don't know of anything else on the market like it. I did it like that because I was sick of getting balm on my hands to put it where I wanted on my beard. And so from a hold perspective, just so you know, I have it on my mustache today and my sideburns, and you can see it is not stiff by any means, but it does hold the shape that I want it to hold around my mouth instead of going down. Because if I don't use it, it'll go straight down like this. That's how it normally would sit on me. But
Walrus.
it, add a little bit of balm, boom, it's out of the way and it doesn't feel stiff. It's just got some wax in it to kind of give it a flexible hold.
Yeah. And the one aspect of it that I don't know any other balm brand maker that can claim is that you don't have to get balm on your hands to be able to apply it to your beard.
Yeah, you can go straight out of the tube, right onto your mustache, right onto the sides. And then the areas, if I do want to get some flyaways, like if I'm doing photos and I want to look really polished, then I will take the tube and I put it on my palm like this. And I go like this down the outside of my beard. And I don't put it in, I put it on the outside. And that's just going to kind of smooth those flyaways. And like even when I was in Costa Rica with the humidity down there for doing the live stream, I was like, boom, 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 got rid of all those side ones. And I think I had it up in a bun for that. I'm not sure, but.
Beautiful. And you've had, somebody says wandering sheep uses it. I've never even heard of them. How long have you had the balm stick for? Has that been one of the early days?
No. I think that one came into existence, I think right as we moved into this space. Jill will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was after the relaunch in 2019. That's for sure.
2020, she said.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That's 2020. That makes sense.
That's awesome. I was gonna say it was by the time I discovered you guys.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I knew it was sometime between getting into here and after the relaunch in 2019. It's just, God, that's kind of a cloudy period of time for me.
Right. Understood. So, guys, we gave you a little bit of bonus time today. This show, we do try to stick to an hour. So thank you for your questions. Thank you. Did not have any plans to do that full community discussion. That's the beauty of this stream is you guys take it where you want to go. And it's beautiful to get Nick's thoughts and feedback and just long form transparency, just getting this discussion out there. And before Nick gives you guys the big kickoff, I do want to invite you guys next week, 1 p.m. Eastern, episode 52 in a row, 1 year of this stream, of this community, some fun giveaways to give back to you guys. Tell a friend, set a reminder, and I hope to see you guys here 1 week from now. Nick, go ahead and give them the big send off.
Oh man, let's load up next week. Let's just if you want some free stuff, get your 4 best friends to join and enter their email addresses just so you can make them give you this stuff when they win it. I don't, you know what I mean? Let's make it a fun one. Let's blast it out. We'll have a bunch of people. We'll have a bunch of fun giveaways. It'll be a good time. So tell your friends, bring yourselves. If you can just listen. You know what I mean? Do whatever you got to do. It's going to be a really good one. We'd really appreciate you guys being there. Wouldn't be the 50-second stream without you guys. So I wouldn't want to do it and celebrate it without you there. So, thanks for everything. Really looking forward to next week. And thanks for all the awesome questions. And if we didn't get to something and it's burning in the back of your head, shoot us an email, customerservice@drnix.com. Reach out on Instagram. Let us know you had something that didn't get answered, or you can go back and leave it in the comments of this video later on YouTube, and we'll get to that as well. But thanks for joining, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Absolutely, guys. See you next week. And as Nick said, anytime leave comments on these YouTube videos. Dr. Nix does respond to every comment. So give that feedback however you want to deliver it. We'll make sure it gets to the right source.